We're live.
We're live.
A little bit late. I must apologize. It was not Scott's fault. He wasn't playing softball or running around in his boat. I just went into a metal funk and I put 9:30 as the starting time when I posted this. And when I realized I'd done it this morning, I changed it as soon as I could. I put the GoFundMe, Carrie, in early in the comments. Yes, I do have a GoFundMe. But it's one of those addresses you can't ever remember. You're going to have to go look it up in the chat. I can't remember it. And I don't know how to get into it otherwise. I'll tell you about the GoFundMe. My kids set it up for me. They calculated out the expenses I've had to date and the things the doctors are talking about, follow-up visits and all that stuff, and medicines I might need to take. And anyway, and none of it's cheap, but none of it's out. Well, the medicines are outrageously expensive, so we're still arguing about those.
But how many days were you in the hospital? Was it 4?
5.
5 days.
And I was in it's not ICU. They now have a code blue floor where you could code blue at any time. So you're not in the ICU where they have super stuff. And I was on the code blue floor, which means I kept hearing them call code blues the first 2 days I was there on the floor. And I'm like, that's a lot of code blues for a hospital. And then I finally asked the nurse, and she said, oh yeah, we created this floor because that's why it took them so long to set my room up, was when I was down in emergency, was getting all the machines in so that they could back up a code blue if they called it. And they didn't have to, but no one can prove that I'm completely here after my 9:30 starting time, but I'll get here. I'll get here at 10.
Little Miss, we used to be at 9:30.
We used to be at 9.
Was it 9?
Yeah, we moved it an hour, kid. I mean, I have no idea where 9:30 crawled out of my brain, but I'm here. I checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure meds are working beautifully. As a matter of fact, they're working so well. One day, one of my blood pressures was 99/61. I didn't even know your blood pressure could go that low. I called the doctor's office. They said, it can, but don't stand up quickly today. Oh, that doesn't sound real good. But, and I've only had a couple days where it was a tiny bit high, but I've never had anything where it posted. I have one of the lovely talking blood pressure things that says, your blood pressure is normal. Your blood pressure is abnormal. And believe me, I heard enough abnormal to know what that sounds like. So that's taken care of itself, and I'm not too sleepy. I'm still here, but I'm not pushing it. So I'm still having my Tuesdays at 1:00, and I've sort of cut myself down to sort of use Scott, or if someone comes up with a really intriguing proposition. See, Scott can't ever come on my Tuesday show because he doesn't want to see you just see him riding around in his truck.
Yeah, it may be difficult.
But anyway, so I'm looking forward to everyone keep following me, and please go over and push subscribe. I didn't realize how many people hadn't pushed subscribe till I went up 55 new subscribers in a day when I really emphasized it. So go over and push subscribe, and subscribe to Scott's channel. YouTube's making a big deal out of that right now, in case you haven't wondered about all the bot voices saying, push subscribe. And then they say, oh, and what city are you watching me from? And could you type that in the chat? Because apparently the number of questions you get in a follow-up chat makes a difference. They don't count the chat you're writing in right now, which is unfair, but they do in the people who follow up. And Scott and I have a lot of people. We'll have 1,000 or so in the morning, and then by the evening we'll have had 2,000 or 3,000 people watch this. So if you're one of the 2,000 or 3,000 that shows up late, please like and subscribe. And if you subscribe, then you can always get my wrong time messages.
Oh no, strange.
That's true. That happens.
Carol said she was unsubscribed twice. Crazy.
Yeah, when my numbers dropped quickly, I called YouTube and said, what the H? And they went kind of back up. I still lost 10.
Alrighty. So you said you threw a garden this morning for the weekend.
I threw a garden, and we're going to get to see it. And it's a lovely garden. I'm getting there. Here it comes. Yay, garden. Okay. It's really interesting because our grounding stone, what's holding us together, has hit exactly between fire, earth, air, and water. And what that means is mental actions are the path to your abundance. Clarification is coming from dealing with our past. More is being brought forward, and grounding changes that are happening right now are turning into long-term patterns. That's the teeniest stone in the garden, and it landed right in the middle. So this is really, really important. What's going to go on this week is going to shake us up to some extent. And then I looked at where are our mind and where is our spirit? And our mind is they're still triggering us. So if you're watching the news, don't be tied to false energies of the past. That's when you're going and watching the news. Don't watch the news. You'll get the headlines. Trust me, when what's going to break is going to break, you're going to hear it. And our spirit's caught between our mind and fire. Fire is the past. And our spirit's caught in earth. And it's saying spirit's transforming right now, but it's not yet finished. And thoughts of the past will be clouding what's happening. So this is going to be a week when they're going to try to feed us with confusion. But we've got our clarity in the root chakra, and that means we're going back to basics as far as clarity goes. And it says, if we tie to our cosmic wisdom, if you tie to the wisdom you brought in with you, that's what you're going to need as a base to make it this week. And meanwhile, our dear sweet body, which is in water, is helping us understand how to deal with these elements. Our body's not going to, if somebody says something to you and you go, that's not right, because your body reacts before your brain even has a chance to, it's not right. So we're going to be fed a lot of new information this week. A lot of things are going to be changing. And I read a perfect quote for this week, and it goes, your nervous system will call it a loss because we're wired to think we should think that way. Your mind will call it confusion, but your soul will now call the changes freedom. So that's my reading for the coming week. This could be the world's shortest morning show. Anyway.
So I threw some cards to complement your garden.
Reading. Mm-hmm.
Getting a tower coming up this week.
Yep, we do.
I think it's documentation with the Knight of Coins about women. So I think it has a lot to do with, I don't think 45 is going to be able to distract from the women in the past with the up sky.
Nope.
I see Democrats making ground with their words. It's breaking through with the Seven of Swords, that liar card.
Right.
So I get my Democrat card next to the liar card. So it feels like they're going to be breaking through with information. And then the Two of Coins and the Knight of Wands. It feels like the universe is still struggling, though. You know, the flow of information with the Two of Coins back and forth and heavy energy with the Knight. But it's not quite breaking through completely. But yeah, the biggest thing is that tower associating with a lot of women.
Right. And right. we are in Lionsgate time now. Lionsgate starts early in August, and it actually is a 2-week period. The 8/8 is exactly when our planet is aimed at the center of the universe, which is why Lionsgate happens. But we are it's like when they talk about astrologically about being in the shadow of certain things, we are in the Lionsgate times. And the other one is, yes, the world's leaking like a sieve. If you've watched some of the news that's come out, that a lot of the conversations between Epstein and Prince Andrew and Trump's all over it.
She's a weird one, Miss Owens.
Well, Miss Owens may not like men.
She claim, you heard the lawsuit. She's claiming that Macron's wife is a man,
She's a weird. I mean,
and Macron's wife is suing.
she should. That's why she married a millionaire, so she can afford the lawsuit.
Just ridiculous.
She and Laura Loomer. I mean, there's such a when it's done and dusted, and all the books are written about this time. People are going to say that couldn't have happened. It's going to be like a bad 1930s. We're getting to the point it's getting to be like the bad 1930s slapstick comedies where the people are running between rooms trying to stop things from happening or running away from the cops.
Oh, good. I didn't see that Kansas joined. That's good news, rather than just Democrat states.
Yes. Well, Kansas handwriting's on the wall. Every referendum they've had where they just threw things to the voters, whatever the legislature did, the voters overturned it. And so now those guys are looking down the cannons of that. Of course, you could all move to Texas and live with the great theft of congressional seats that we're about to have them go through. And I can tell you what's going to happen. All of the people that are needed to vote on this that are on the Democratic side, they're going to go to New Mexico or Oklahoma. One's going to stay in the state because one has to stay for the party to be considered viable. And that person just has a wonderful job, fun following all. We've seen this before, people. It's a sideshow of sideshows. And Governor Wheelie they're already demonstrating down in Austin, and they haven't put any of their ideas to paper. Apparently, the Heritage Foundation drew the map, which makes everybody here feels warm and fuzzy.
Okay. As Jeff put a couple weird ones in.
Yes.
Was Melania trafficked?
Yes. She was part of those Eastern European models that Epstein used all the time and that other guy's modeling agency used. They introduced her to Trump. And not to get conspiratorial, which I'm about to do, but his first wife of Ivana, her dad was part of the apparatchik that ran things in her country for the Communist Party. And Ghislaine, so they hook her up next to him. She speaks several languages. Trump barely speaks one. So if she's whispering to her contacts, he would never know it. And yeah, I've always felt she was trafficked.
Trafficked.
I'm using trafficked in the broadest possible terms. So.
I don't know. I don't really get a traffic type of thing. So I see because I'm not really getting like bad things around this. Kind of shows that she tried to be like a model, and it wasn't really going her way. But then once it was losing her career or whatever, then she got in, found these people because it wasn't going her way. Lack of energy, motivation, lack of money, and then Six of Swords finds a better way with a contract with some kind of creator in an offer. So at first, I don't think she was, like traffic or part of a mob.
What do you define traffic as? I have friends, and I had friends when I was young and ran with some weird people. I had a friend who wrote an X-rated movie, and then she invited me over to see the X-rated movie at her house. And this is when I still did things like went over and saw X-rated movies at people's houses. It was kind of the only one I ever did, but But she was telling me about how she lived in a very exclusive neighborhood, and there were a bunch of housewives around her that were virtually trafficked. They were virtually set up to meet men for dinner and to meet men for that. And now, if you may not call that trafficked, I do. People that
Yeah,
are
in a sense.
that in that sense, I think she was definitely trafficked. She was definitely set up to meet Trump.
Yes. In that sense, yeah.
To me,
I don't think what I'm saying, I don't think it was a goal of her to come from Slovenia to get, like a handler to set up to Trump. It evolved that way. That's what I sense.
I don't think you take trafficked in nearly the broad thing. And I used to, when I was head of crime watch for the city of Dallas, I used to talk to them about some of the sex trafficking. And, when you're one of those housewives that gets caught up in that, and all of a sudden they have pictures of you, you're trapped. So whether you're a kid that got snatched off a corner or whether you're a grown woman who didn't have the sense to know how to deal with herself, you're trapped. I take a broader definition trafficked.
Jeff means like Miss Gerfrey was trafficked. No, I think she was a willing participant. I don't think Melania was trafficked in that way. That's my sense.
Yeah, I have a sense she'd take her bloomer off for any good chance she had. But I think they were there giving her the places to take her bloomers off. So, and we've all seen the picture of her with her bloomers off. So
sure. Yep.
When you get to that point, you're kind of gone. It's like in the film industry, they used to say, when you start making X-rated movies or dealing in porn, your career.
Well, the $5,000 Doge check never came. So the $6,000 or whatever, $600 tariff rebate check isn't coming either.
Apparently, they figured that out at WWE last night. They booed him. And I don't know if you've seen the video of it. They booed him. The entire audience of the WWE, whatever it was, and it was in some giant stadium place, booed Trump. I mean, not just a little bit, but everybody.
Yeah, I've seen all the video or the pictures. Yeah, 45 was bringing his little daughter to all these things, and then signed with Casablanca's modeling agency. Disgusting. Okay. To his followers, now it's back on news. House went fold. Where is she? Where is Melania?
Hidden in the White House.
I don't think
she used to escape the White House and go stay with her parents in the Washington suburbs, but her mother's dead. I think her dad may be dead now too. So I don't know where she goes, but she's hidden in Washington somewhere. Trust me. I'm not going to read on it because their whole energy is so icky. But one time when I read on her, I read that she knows how to keep her mouth shut because she wants to live. And all he has to do is take her out on an official visit, and the bullet doesn't hit him; it hits her, and he gets all the glory because he didn't die. So, trust me, if I were her, I'd be building a bunker. But
I would say more so New York, since Barron is going to New York College or whatever. But she just wants nothing to do with this pig. Another video.
I have no idea.
Trump invited Uncle Luke to a party. I'm not sure who Uncle Luke is. Okay. Rose Blue Senate. Nancy Jean and I found the video. Looked at it quick. That 45 and Andrew, we're talking about getting some girls.
Mm-hmm. And the writer who put that out, and I can't remember his name now, but the writer who's behind that, he's somebody who's got a certain amount of status in England. So I don't think it'd be out under his name if it wasn't true.
I know Midas Touch is digging through everything they can find.
Yeah, and Prince Andrew is such a mess.
Yeah, he was excommunicado from from the royals.
Yes. I think he's living in the gardener's shack now.
Is more gonna come out? Oh yeah. I got burdenous energy coming out. Yep. Got the oh crap moment with Knight of Wands, and then we got burdens.
Okay.
So yeah, I see the energies flowing to dig into everything that can be reported.
Let's see. I got do a 3-card spread on it. I'm using my bunny cards. Oh yeah. The Knight of Wands is riding forth. Now, granted, it's a little bunny, but he's a Knight of Wands. And he's bringing about some real changes, some real transformation. And kind of the Page of Cups, no matter what they come out to say, no matter how truthful they try to look, they can't disprove it. So, yeah, there's more coming.
Yeah, I think it's coming. Everything's coming to the public. So I get my 4 of Wands at public service, and then Wheel of Fortune. The 5 of Wands next to that kind of says obstruction.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of people don't want it to come out.
Yeah, on the bottom of my deck was the 7 of Cups reversed, which means people don't believe the lies anymore, that they're starting to see the truth. Better late than never, I guess.
You know, little Donnie's not going to escape this one.
No.
Okay. I didn't see a question like this yet, but I made a banner. Get into it. So we know she's been moved to a cushy prison camp, whatever.
I don't know. Moving to Texas in August is a bit iffy. Especially if the power grid goes, you know?
But the sex crime had to be waived by DOJ in order to move her.
Oh, really?
Because that place is mainly for money crimes, not for sex crimes.
We have so many prisons and so many ways to lock people up in this state.
I guess that Theranos lady is there.
Who?
The Theranos lady that stole all that money.
Oh, the one, yeah, she told everybody, gave him false tests.
Right. I guess she's there for 11 years. Okay. What's up with Miss Maxwell being moved, talking to DOJ? Give me the story. What's her end game here? Right. White collar crime. Rose Blue said, yeah.
Okay. You ready to go? You want me to go?
You can go ahead.
Okay. I got that Trump didn't even like having to deal with her. He thought there's some other way. But the whole thing is to try to distance her from him. And this is the 8 of Pentacles. She's willing to do whatever she needs to do. But you got the Seven of Pentacles here, and this is not a done deal by any means, because we got the Seven of Wands as the out. I think she got him to this point, but I don't know that they're going to be able to push it any further. I don't know. She's working on her game. The best thing that can happen for her is if Trump stays alive or stays well enough to stay in office, because otherwise she's going to be sold down the river so damn fast. Your head's going to spin, and that means taking the other people with them. Because there are some people who really think, it's got to go. But I don't. Her end game is a yes, no. She's working as hard as she can, but she doesn't have the support behind her to make it work. She doesn't have the power to do it. That's what I see. What do you see?
Okay. In the past situation, I have Knight of Swords, Two of Swords, Six of Cups. Mm-hmm. I think that means she did some bad things. Right? Yep. That's just kind of Two of Swords. Which way should she go? And Six of Cups coming back to haunt her. The current situation is trying to make a deal, because I have her coming as the Queen of Cups for some reason. Three of coins is making that deal. And then the Ten of Swords to trying to avoid death. She's trying to avoid death. She will stay locked up with the Eight of Swords. Ace of Swords, she knows a lot. Knight of Cups, Ace of Swords, Eight of Swords. She's not going to be getting out. She knows a lot of 45 and other men. She has the receipts. So I think she holds a lot of cards here. Knight of Cups is the men too, but she holds the cards. But Ace of Swords saying she's stuck. She's not getting a pardon. Just making it cushier because she has the goods. The outcome. I got Page of Cups. Here's your offer. This is what I can do. The World. The ending. Worldwide influence. Three of Wands, more overseas. And then Seven of Wands, frustrated. It just tells me that she's got the info and she's playing it the best of her ability. I think it was more of I can blow up the whole system, get me out of this hellhole, and I won't expose it. It has nothing to do with. I don't see a pardon. There's no way she can manipulate what happened.
That's right.
To say 45 didn't do this, not possible. There's too much info, too much testimony. No, that play ain't gonna work. She's keeping herself in a better place because she's got the goods.
That's right.
That's my feeling.
I asked if she's ill because people keep talking about how ill she is, that she's sick, and I got yes. And it's something that's foundational to her family. It's like a genetic disease, something that shows up. She's very well aware of it. They've explained it to her. She wants out of jail because she didn't want to die in jail. And if she gets out, it's going to be because of the help of two women. The Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles.
Yep, she got moved a better scenario. I think that's the deal. If you want to come knocking on my door, I'd rather blow it all up than,
Can't say as I blame her. All these people she set things up for are sitting out there doing nothing. Years and years ago, a person that I'm familiar with and I trust implicitly was working in works in cybersecurity, and they had an informal group of folks that had all gone to college together in that field, and were all trained, and actually were all over the world. And they were really upset because they got their dream job. So they took their dream job, but part of their dream job was they couldn't work with groups like they'd been working with since they left college. And I said, well, what's so bad about that? I mean, a lot of companies don't let you work. And they said, oh, no, it was just an informal group. And they were going around the world trying to find the cyber trail of Ghislaine's files. They were trying to find her files.
Mm.
And I said, will you know if they're ever found? And they said, no, once I'm cut out, I'm cut out. I can't help anymore. But these were some of the best young cyber minds in the world were out looking for her files. And I said, well, aren't the authorities looking for their files? And this person looked at me and said, we run circles around them. So yeah, okay. What can I say?
Interesting. Why don't your daughter just hack the files? They're supposedly on a shareware when the 1,000 FBI was going through it.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think he's going to make it to the end of the year. And then we just have to figure out, well, what are we going to do about JD?
I know, right? They need to go down together, not one. Otherwise, we're still stuck.
Well, there is that lawsuit about the election that's coming up that even the court said, let's move this faster, and pulled it back into September. It was supposed to be out in October.
Yeah, I think that court, you talking about the New York one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the status update at the end of September, unless they dug into the info already and got it.
And they said, no, we're going to trial. We're going to go, they're going to a fact trial. So
no, I haven't heard an update there. Okay. What's 45's destiny in this term? Let's see what the cards say. Okay.
It's all going to change in October. I love when we get the same cards.
I was just going to say that.
And it's because there's someone who's a magician that's behind the things that are going to bring about the change. And the King of Cups gets taken out of his cushy little environment. And there's a new king.
Well, nice new king. I didn't get a nice new king. I got a nice new queen.
Well, remember in tarot, sexual orientations of cards are mutable. But I think there's going to be an interim group of people running things once they find out what really happened. And I do sense we have a lovely new queen out there. Because I'll tell you where I get it from. Everything astrologically says we're switching to feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be a queen, but I don't.
Yeah.
I think there's an interim.
I think everything explodes in October. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting last time that September is going to be wild.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad for 45. This month is all dodging. Didn't do this. Lie. But things get exposed in September, and then he may have a heart attack or something in November or October.
Remember what I saw in my reading for the week? All the stuff's there for it to change. What we have to do is get our minds out of, but he's always won. They've never gotten it to go, blah, 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 all that crap. And the only way you can do that is to really not watch the daily news. I mean, watch a headline or two, but don't get in the weeds. Because
Yeah.
if you do, they're using persuasive words, and even the press I like is using persuasive words to try and keep me watching. And how many years, Scott, we've been trying to teach people how to manifest what they want? Keep it at the front of your mind. As long as you keep the orange one at the front of your mind. And even when people say, but I'm thinking about Kamala coming in, what are you thinking? And when you finally parse out all their questions, it's he's going to go so she can come in. He's always there. So I just don't think about him. I mean, I actually go whole days now when I don't think about him. And you're right. We need to think in the whole terms of the whole regime going down.
Hi, Melissa. I don't see sworn in September. I think it's everything get deconstructed in September.
That's why we see the other people coming in for the interim till they decide which way. And there's a lot of to do what they want to do. They're going to have to rewrite a big chunk of the Constitution. That also means they're going to have to prove a lot of Republicans are going to go down in this so that they have control of the Congress. And then we hope, that the Supreme Court understands that when that happens, their ass is grass. And so they need to start doing their job.
Yeah. In the past position in my read, it says the Democrats won. It was all illusion in November. So let's manifest that. I mean, every day I look at Twitter, it's just crazy. 45 lies, orange wind lies, distracts.
Well, how do you know on Twitter unless you personally know the person who's written the whatever it is, whatever they call their communication app? How do you know it's not a bot?
Oh, I follow. I only look at the. Well, I mean, the comments are crazy. Yeah, I don't know who there, but the actual articles written by legit reporters that I get my information from. But yeah, you go in the comments, you don't know if 90% of them are fake. Because it's all repeated nonsense. Love my president. Yeah, I'm like, what any person would say, love my president. That kind of stuff. Okay. That needs better cards. Overall energy for Thanksgiving this year. Liz wants to see.
Okay, I'm going to get my playful cards. My life is but a game, board game. And
there you go, Debbie. Manifest a whole new positive energy taking over.
That's right.
Manifest justice.
Oh, I walked outside today this week, Scott.
Oh,
I went and visited Hogarth, my tree.
Oh,
and it was fun to be walking on the real ground. And I wore my grounding shoes so that I could feel the ground. And that was very weird to be connected back to the earth after having been 6 weeks on artificial floors. So,
Thanksgiving.
What will Thanksgiving?
Angels, tell me what's going to happen. The nation around Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
Well, it looks grim, but it ends well. I have that we will have been through an emotional turmoil beyond belief with the moon. And it's going to take so much thinking about who's telling me the truth. The Knight of Wands is going to, when you see knights, it's a lot of information moving quickly. And when it's wands, they're trying to sell you something. And then during that time, it's still going to feel a bit turbulent because we're still doing a balancing act. But the way, any card in tarot you can turn so you can make it a balanced act for you. Then Kamala's going to be there, but there's still going to be screaming and yelling and all the other fighting crap they do one way or the other. But my out card is we're going to feel good about it. Even though it's crazy and delusional and we're trying to figure things out, we're going to feel like we have the right energy. And the right energy is right next to Kamala, or whoever the woman is that's there. That's the Queen of Pentacles.
Yeah. The Sun is a beautiful card to have.
And then when it shows up for me, I don't care how many cards are on the board. That's a yes.
Okay. So in the past position, I get Temperance, Two of Cups, Ace of Cups. So that just means we got to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Have patience, because the relationships and the beginnings and the compassionate cup overflow, it takes time to create through this chaos.
Mm-hmm.
In the current energy, I have King of Cups, Seven of Swords, and Knight of Pentacles. So that shows with the chaotic energy with the Seven of Swords. Trying to sidestep obstacles. There's deceit and betrayals to try to get through. Knight of Pentacles can be new orders, putting in new effort. King of Cups is trying to establish that new leadership. Moving forward, Queen of Swords. Here's the female energy coming in.
Right.
Kamala's always a Queen of Swords to me.
Yeah, she is to me too.
Wheel of Fortune is the change, life cycles, and Ace of Wands is the new cycle. Outcome. Three of Wands, new assistance. Nine of Cups, the Democrats. Six of Cups coming back into power with the Page of Pentacles. The new manifesting, the new opportunities, the new job.
Mm-hmm.
There's chaos. Only I get the chaos with the Seven of Swords. Everything looks pretty positive.
Yeah, and what I got on the bottom of my deck was the Ten of Cups, the happily fulfilled place. So I think despite the fact there's all that turmoil and everything in the background, and there's going to be, I mean, we've never done this before.
I had the Fool on the bottom.
It's our choice.
New beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
This is the tarot with keywords. New beginnings, no limitations, disregarding the risks, free spirit, taking leap of faith.
It's probably going to feel to a lot of people like we've walked off a cliff.
According to this reading, there's a new leadership.
Yeah.
And changes, but still chaotic. You may not be able to invite your MAGA uncle to Thanksgiving yet.
Why would you want to?
Because he's going to be upset yet.
Unless he owns the only turkey farm in their county. I don't know why you'd want him there.
Well, eventually, hopefully we can forgive and forget and move on with family, right?
Yeah, but it's like, Scott, you've been through it. After a divorce, how long did it take to be civil?
A bit. Jeff can't wait for his Amazon delivery of his Radiant Wise Tarot.
Yeah.
There it is. Never heard of it.
Radiant Wise, it's a Rider-Waite deck, but it's beautiful. The colors are a lot richer.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, I think my kitty deck wants this one.
Your kitty deck. Oh, I'll bring out the bunnies again.
How did Kamala feel after Stephen Colbert interview?
Did you watch it? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, YouTube had a half-hour clip.
Okay.
That's what I watched.
I just happened to stumble into it. I mean, literally, I don't watch much TV, but when I was flashing through, I have YouTube TV, and I pushed that instead of trying to go to YouTube, and it mentioned, there she was coming across the stage, and I went, oh, I can watch this. And Steven is so funny. And he ain't done with them yet. Let me tell you. Did you hear that he dropped on one of his shows? You do know that the senatorship in South Carolina is up for the next election. And he'll be out of a job, so why not go back? And he's a resident of South Carolina.
Miss Lindsay needs to go. Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Feels like he was bringing some heat.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed calm. It seemed collected, but inside she's feeling the Knight of Swords from what happened. And so she's got I feel that burning sensation inside of her soul with that Knight of Swords. So that feels like the election time. It hurt, right?
Oh, you're going to hurt forever.
The current energy, Two of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and Magician.
I got the Magician.
She's ready for that change.
She's ready to go into it. She knows she's not there yet because it's reversed in my reading.
I think she's got hope there subconsciously that things are going to change. Like there's some knowledge or, moving forward, prosperity, choices of where to go with the Two of Swords and the Page of Cups. Ready to take a cup. Outcome, I get Nine of Pentacles. That's bringing balance in your life. Three of Wands, seeking assistance. Page of Swords and the Four of Cups. Beware of deceit and just wait our turn. So how did she feel? This explained things, but how did she feel? I guess I got to go back to the current for that one. How does she feel? Oh, she feels great. That was the Magician, Wheel of Fortune, and Two of Cups. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows about her future.
Okay. I got that she went in feeling spiritually very aware and emotionally very open. She couldn't say everything she wanted to say. She couldn't say what she saw in her cups. She did talk about the dysfunction that surrounds the whole country, and that makes her very sad. And she said flat out, if I went back into politics like tomorrow, I couldn't help as much as I want to. I wouldn't have the power because of how things are stacked. But what she laid was the foundation of new truth coming with the Knight of Cups. So I think she felt as good as she could. I don't think she felt like we've won this. It was not celebratory.
I missed that one, but Joe spoke at the National Bar Association the other day. He was great, strong, sharp. Good deal.
And of course, the press can't report that because all they've done is report that he's dying. So,
yeah, kind of me too, Debbie. When I was busy raising kids, if I seen, all the ads, I didn't really look at candidates, but I'm like, okay, I'll just vote for the other person because this person's attacking them harder. They're trying to hide something. That was always my feeling. I never looked if they're Democrat or Republican. So if the Republican was attacking the Democrat worse, I voted for the Democrat. For president, I always generally voted Democrat. But the last Republican I voted for was Scott Walker, our governor.
That'll teach you. That will teach you, Scott.
Pretty much. So, but yeah, after 45, I have never even looked at a Republican.
I can tell you where you can go if you're just a person and even though you listen to us, and Lord knows we're so sage and wise, but the best place I found to find sort of background information on people is go to Ballotpedia, and Ballotpedia it has a lot of stuff. They give you a lot of base information they can give you, but they also ask each candidate to fill out a questionnaire, and their questionnaires are very fair. And if someone won't fill out a questionnaire, I have a real hard time voting for them, because that's a place where they can reveal what's going on around them. And when I ran campaigns, we spent a lot of time making sure we answered the questionnaires the way they needed to be answered. So y'all still have Ballotpedia, and there's some very important elections this year. There's, the one in Wisconsin. There's the one coming up in Georgia.
Is she safe? I'm getting a lot of worries about her safety. I think that's why she said what she did. I think, like in the other reading, talking about, I got the goods on you guys. My lawyer has it. My state has stuff, whatever it is, right? But yeah, there is that worry about dark times and death. But she's holding cards with that victory right there. The Knight of Cups offer secret things and some anxieties. So I think the worry is there, but I don't see death around her, but I think she holds the cards. Just like her lawyer or whatever, her estate or whatever they didn't get. I die, this gets released. I think she holds the cards. So there is the worry, but I think she's.
I got yes and no, but I got that.
Yeah, mine was like that too. Yes.
She's got the page of wands upside down. They know that she's not carrying the truth, but this for her is a new beginning. It's a new place to start from. And now she's going to bargain with both sides about what she does. And she knows she's in a perilous position. She knows she's not building good things. She just wanted a place that felt safe. Four of Swords, a place to retreat to, get out of the limelight.
That's funny, scary godmother. I would think so too.
It's true. If you look like her, I think I'd be dyeing my hair blonde at this point, so nobody makes a mistake. Apparently they do in the dark when they're wandering around federal prisons getting ready to kill people. She can't traffic them out of the jail.
Isn't it easier for someone to reach her? Yeah, I mean, it's security.
Well, you know where she is.
It'd definitely be easier for her to just walk out, I'm sure, but I got that 8 of Swords that she's stuck there. So let's see.
I can tell you what we're going to do. There's academic institutions that follow the numbers and see how they're reported. We're going to trust them.
I really don't think it's going to matter much, because she wasn't the only person working on those numbers. There's like 40 people compiling and making calls, and
if you lived in a state where they were lying about the COVID numbers, like in Florida, they got them all anyway, because there were people who were attached to the hospitals that could gather that data and statistics. So it's very, very hard to close down a complete statistical system.
He's just a baby. I'll fire you.
Well, did you see I think it was Adam Schiff who put out a post on one of the social networks, and it was a picture of Trump walking out of the White House. And he said, if you want to find the person that's led to all of our weak employment numbers, fire this guy.
Good. Yeah, Adam's not really holding back either, but that's what you got to do. Get the information. Try to get the information out to people.
Mm-hmm.
You go to anyone, any large account, especially Democrat. There are so many trolls and bots in there. You don't know what. I'd say 90% of them aren't real people. Saying a lot of similar things, a lot of disgusting things. Ugh. Okay, JD's future. You do a recheck on JD.
Do we have to?
Yeah, let's do it. Try to narrow down some of this information if we're getting it correct. JD Vance.
I have to pick one, so I'm going to see if he's easier to control.
Yeah, I think so too, Carrie. The sun.
Yep, he's easier.
Weird.
What'd you get?
Okay. In the past, he feels victorious over Kamala. That King of Swords comes out again. He's all in and connected with the Republican leadership or his handlers, whatever. With the Lovers, Three of Wands. Moving forward, the High Priestess, the Sun, Eight of Wands. He's fulfilling his soul contract and whatnot, but things will be exposed here about him. Ace of Wands, King of Wands, Hierophant, and Three of Cups. This is showing he may be present for a brief time. These are actually pretty good cards.
Yeah, I got good cards, but my bottom card was the Ace of Wands reversed, so I don't think it's going to happen. He's got moments of glory that he's going to stand there and say, I've made it. But he really hasn't, because he's not ready to handle it. He can't convince people. He doesn't have Trump's people behind him. But when he gets in there, he's going to have the Ace of Swords with him, which is stable environment. He's going to watch me work. Eight of Pentacles. He's going to be in there for the conservatives like nobody's business. And he already knows what their future plans are. But what I said is, what I asked for the bottom of the deck was, how well is this going to work? And I got the Ace of Wands upside down. He's got a whole game plan ready to come in and run with, but it ain't going to work. First of all, when Trump goes, all those Democrats that apparently they must have some interesting pictures of somewhere are going to fold. And the ones that have been wavering about supporting things and only do it when Trump calls them, they have no respect for JD Vance nor his handlers. So,
yeah, he's a tool, but I don't see it as at least not this throw. I don't see it as a he goes down hard like 45 will.
Well, the whole conservative movement is. We should do the whole conservative movement, irregardless of who's at the top.
All right, let's do that. What's the near future of the conservative movement?
Mm-hmm.
Try that.
That's all of them mixed together, even if they all talk past each other. The white nationalists, the whole bunch. The economic ones that want to destroy our economy. And that includes the conservative movement that's funded by Russia. This is all of them in one fell swoop.
Wow. They hung their hat all on 45.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Wheel of Fortune, Two of Swords, and Emperor. It's been a 10-year journey on one mad king.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, it feels like a conspiracy theory. Because King of Swords, the star and strength, it feels like QAnon to me. Like they built their wishes on locking up Hillary and that kind of. That's what that feels in the past position. Moving forward, Three of Wands. So they're still trying to reach out to bring it all together. The Hermit, and then Six of Cups. That feels like taking a step back and then bring back what it used to be moving forward. The outcome of the conservative movement, I get Queen of Coins, Justice, Illusions, Delusions, and Knight of Wands. It ain't going to be what it was, because it's going to be dismantled. Everything was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Justice is going to bring in the mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
the level-headedness. So I think it's dismantled, the conservative movement. What do you get?
I got the Ten of Pentacles. They thought they were abundant and they were so in charge that they could buy whatever they wanted. But they've got the Nine of Wands. They can't hold up the front they need to hold up. They've been killed by the Three of Swords. They're the heart of the movement's cut out. They're going to try a whole lot of communications and shifting, but it's not going to work because America's finally learned to get the right idea, to not look to them for wisdom, that there is no wisdom there. And at the bottom of that reading, I have that they're living with the tilted Three of Cups. They thought they were all had it made in the shade, and they don't. The thing is, they fight within themselves. I mean, and okay.
Patience. Dwight's asking, how patient
Bunny
will
cards.
people be able to allow democratic companies correct the magazine? Yeah. American people don't have much patience.
They also don't have a very long memory.
Yeah. That's why the October surprise usually works, because it's fresh in their mind. It's like not understanding that it took a very long time for the Biden administration to get this economy back on track after COVID. Very few people.
I got a completely wonderful reading. This is bunny cards. Six of Swords. We're ready to ride away from all the chaos. And then we have the Sun. We've seen it. I mean, we've become aware of what it is. and we're willing to let them work and do what they can to try and correct things, nothing will happen fast enough to make us happy. But at the end, we have the Wheel of Fortune, so we're willing to ride it out. It's the right side up Wheel of Fortune. That reading amazes me because the most important one in there is we're willing to let the sunshine show on what's going on so that people can see improvements.
I do get the Empress energy.
Mm-hmm.
6 of coins, division of spoils, giving and receiving, and then 2 of coins, trying to figure out how to make it work. But the energy isn't lying and deceitful. So I think more people will be more accepting. It feels like there's going to be more judgment upon what happened than moving forward. I do have the 6 of Swords too, like you would, and Knight of Cups, but it's along with judgment.
Yeah.
And delusions of what the past used to be. You know, I think people come to the realization it was all a lie and just want to move forward. So the energy is more compassionate with the Empress. You know, so it ain't going to be all roses and butterfly kisses, you know, but it's going to be better because people have come to the realization they've been duped. And in the end, it just feels like people want something stable and none of this chaos anymore.
Right. And some people clearly see how delusional the Supreme Court's been, because I asked, is the Supreme Court going to change? And they said, yes, this is a yes for that one, because we're going to get rid of the illusion and delusion that's reading our Constitution upside down. Of course, this is what happens when you have governments try to destroy for over 25 years all civics training, so people have no idea how civics really works.
It was just in the news the other day that Tesla lost in a settlement lawsuit of their self-driving function. Someone that died in it sued, and they were awarded like $235 million, and found that Tesla was at fault. So that's another hit to Elon. And wasn't it like in 2016 he said we'd have self-driving cars by 2018 and then be on the moon by 2024?
Do you know what?
Mars.
Do you know what they used? One of the programs they used to figure out to program self-driving cars. If you've ever gotten one of those CAPTCHAs where you have to pick out the buses that are in this picture and pick out the bridges, and so they can let you into a website, they were using those silly systems and how people saw to begin to program those cars to self-drive. I could never get those suckers to work. I mean, nothing looks like what it's supposed to look like in those little bitty squares. So I was like, they use that? Whoa.
I mean, other companies have done it. But Tesla
I'm not riding in it. I'm not going to ride in a self-driving car.
Or where was that in LA? They had those self-driving cars they called come to that protest, and they ended up burning them up in LA.
Yes. California does things we don't. I don't even know if those are in Dallas. So.
This is true. Vance was on the ticket. We didn't elect him, but it depends if he's part of the criminality. In a sense, he should have been held accountable for his Springfield, Ohio comments. Nothing happened.
I think he should be put in a private prison cell and be fed cats and dogs for the rest of his life. And make it phony.
That too, Dwight, with the short memory.
Mm-hmm.
Over a million people that passed away from COVID, and all the lies that 45 and his administration and the Republicans kept saying all summer of 2020. And then they want to lock up Fauci. Good Lord. So the last thing we need to do in the United States is defund the Department of Education.
Or health, guys. Trust me. I mean, they're not always right, but.
Deb Z seen a video of a guy driving a Tesla, said he can't be charged the DUI because he was behind the wheel drunk. So it must have been driving self-drive mode or something.
There's millions and millions of people in America, and a great many of them are totally stupid.
What's Elon hiding in Tennessee? Just being a good human. No,
there's a plant there that a lot of the things Trump did to get rid of pollution it's going to dump on poor Tennessee. It's not like they didn't get it bad enough from the coal mines and stuff.
Yeah, what is it? Is it an AI factory or?
I have no idea what it was. All I remember was reading that one of the laws they passed cleared the way for him to do what he wanted to do about not handling toxic.
Yeah, I did read it. Environmentally horrible there, yeah. Rose said it's an AI plant. And it burns, energy like crazy and not even trying to put up solar cells or anything.
Oh, they fixed them in Scotland, though. Trump's thing about Britain has to buy all this fossil fuel from us. And the same day as they signed that agreement, Scotland set up enough wind farms to need no petrol at all, to need no fuel at all. So screw you, guy.
Good. The heck with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Cece's wondering about the redistricting things. It's all over because everyone's talking. Oh, Illinois will try to do it. New York will try to do it.
If they redistricted Wisconsin, they just went through all that. Tell them that. I have gone into congressional races in Texas, not knowing which district my person was really, not knowing the geography of it. Now, we have a peculiar law because Texas is so big that you don't have to live in the congressional district you serve, which I think is a stupid law. You want to represent West Texas, go out there and represent those farmers. But anyway, but we ran a whole spring referendum and we weren't really sure where they were going to be running. It's crazy. Sean did a show last week, I think, on it he's doing a whole lot of stuff on redistricting. And he's also doing a deep dive into that report on the data analysis of the court case everybody's hanging their hats on to overthrow the election. So don't ask me. I didn't do the report. So
I'm getting lawsuits with justice. It may not go through from the courts. It might be blocked here with Eight of Swords.
That's what I got.
And then these orders, you have to walk away with Eight of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's Texas alone. I just did a general read on redistricting.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it'll be stopped with lawsuits in the courts. That's what my cards are showing.
Yeah. I show there's been kind of a big push, and there's been not a whole lot of answers back, and people can't agree on doing it this way. It's got one more year till we do census again, and I see like you do that it's caught up, it's bound, and my out card is the Seven of Pentacles. It's a crop that hasn't been reaped yet, so they don't have they don't have a way to make it work.
It's just nuts that you would do that. I mean, let alone put it out there in the ethers to say, yeah, we're going to cheat by 5. Let's get a special session going. And then Newsom says, I think I can gerrymander to have every single person a Democrat.
Mm-hmm. Well, what they do is you either put everybody all in one little, you either put everybody together. Oh, Patricia, she's going nowhere. I don't even have to read that. I know the district she works in. I have friends that live down there. She has done so much. That was Eddie Bernice Johnson's district. And no offense, but EBJ should have been out of that seat about 15 years before she left it. And I used to run candidates in that part of the county, and it was like driving through a third world nation when EBJ was in charge. Jasmine has come up and cleaned so much stuff up. The people over there, they love her. My only worry is she wants to go to the Senate. I don't think she does, but I think that she could want to go to the Senate because then you don't have to run every 2 years. But she's got her people behind her, and she's a real person. She's in this state. It helps if you're a real personality, and she is. And it's her district is about 19 miles south of where I live, so I think she's going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, we get it. They're not going to be able to redistrict, so, but there is that worry if they do redistrict, she would be cracked.
No, they can't crack her. Trust me.
No? There's
no way. This state is so segregated. Dallas as a city is so segregated. They would be drawing things that, well, there is a couple places where we do have districts where somebody once said if you open both your car doors on the passenger and the driver's side and drove through it quickly, you'd probably hit somebody that would be on either side of your district because they're so narrow. But I don't think those have all gotten overthrown.
Why would the New York AG?
I don't know.
Maybe explain that one, Cece, because any criminal charges would be coming out of Manhattan or SDNY. So I'm not sure what that means. ICE. That might be a good one.
You saw that they fired the woman who was married to the guy that invented the app so you can report where ICE is when you see agents walking around. She worked for she worked in the bankruptcy part of the DOJ. They fired her because her husband owned that company.
Oh, neither. Okay. Yeah, the more you read about what's going on with that big money injected into ICE and DHS, it is bad.
Yeah, and they took it from places where we really need it. So
I was reading that they're willing to pay, even though everyone else's college loans are going back in the fact. If you join ICE, they'll
waive your loans.
Waive your student loans. It's like, what the heck?
Okay. I got kind of a funny reading, but they're going to still be spreading their grief, but they're not able to keep building more people. I mean, they can't keep fighting them. And right now, they're within their own ranks. They're in confusion about what to do. And then the future showed people celebrating with the Three of Cups. and a new person sort of being in charge, and it's very positive. So I said, overall, what's happening around ICE? And it said, after September, they'll be gone because people have had enough. So even though they're continuing to wage their war against every time somebody gets arrested illegally in our name, that hurts each one of us because you could be next.
See, I'm thinking you're right here. The morale is rather down with the Hermit and Nine of Swords, the anxiety card.
Mm-hmm.
Overall energy. So some of them feel the money influx is a good thing for them. I think that's why a lot of them are doing it. But they're undecided how the future is going to be. Moving forward, there's arguments within. The world is seeing this, and the Ace of Cups. I think people are starting to have a heart that they don't. That it's kind of cruel, right? I think they're kind of seeing this. Outcome, strength, the Star, Seven of Pentacles, and Two of Cups. Feels like working together.
Yeah. A friend of mine who's military, ex-military, he was telling me about seeing them post for ICE agents. And, he said what they're doing is that people like him who think this is a travesty and not anything they ever fought for are writing in those sites against the ICE agents. And kind of officers with a certain amount of rank are writing in there, when they take the mask off, where are you going to be? And they're having a chilling effect to some extent on the recruiting out of that area. So, but that's my warning to these guys. When they pull your masks off, where are you going to be? Morning, Gigi. Glad to see you in the chat.
Christy Gnomes is vacationing. She's not doing anything.
Yeah, she's not really. And
I heard that crap too. They're offering like 50 grand to sign up.
I don't think it's 50 grand. I think my
that
friend.
was a report.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not. I seen that report. I seen another thing, a memo saying $6 grand a month
Mm-hmm.
to round up people.
Oh, yeah. Their salary range is it's nuts.
Miller's all upset because he wants $3 grand a day rounded up.
3,000, and at some point you run out of people, and then you start picking up Irish names. If they really, one of the places I know has the largest, or I've heard has the largest number of undocumented immigrants is Boston, Massachusetts, where all the Irish come through. So they don't raid up there. And I'm Irish, so I don't want them to raid them either.
Yeah, Jeff heard that too. Read that $6 grand a month thing. That's unbelievable. They're just throwing money away.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly. And then I was reading that our government is still paying 154,000 federal workers through this September, for that deferred program and whatnot. 154,000 to do nothing. So and the federal payroll is above
what it was under Biden.
Mm-hmm. So we're spending more money. Just nuts. What does that mean? Will there be a major issue involving the National Guard in Texas? I don't know if you've heard anything. Is there a problem in the National Guard in Texas?
Oh, yeah. Well, they put them on the border for so long. They actually had a rebellion. And so I just posted my GoFundMe for those of you who care. I mean, even if you don't care, you can go read it. And the National Guard in Texas, they've had so many people not rejoin and not stay part of it and stuff. And it's a real problem. They had people before all of this latest round of crap. They had people in the National Guard in Texas. They had people committing suicide along the border because they just couldn't take it doing what they were doing. Not like 10 of them at once or something, but people who are a bit fragile. And so, yeah. And apparently they're coming to your door, Scott. Do you have all your papers and ready?
Nancy's dog sitting.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, excitable. She's a puppy. Must have seen something out the door.
Yeah, women can be part of ICE. Even though, why would you want to be? Yuck.
Just to get your loans paid off.
Well, that's true.
Join and not do anything. I'm looking for your. I'll do it later. One of my phone. Okay. Let's see. Look at the starred ones. Oh, Earth Mama posted that a long time ago. Repubs are starting to understand they will not win elections in the future.
Will there be elections in the future?
Okay. Is that what that means?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use a different deck.
Generally, I think 55 to 60% of the people generally favor Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the middle.
Well, only 27. What is the latest one? 27% are solidly behind Trump. And then the rest are divided between Democrats and independents. But the independents have had more than a 70% swing to being behind Democrats. And,
I mean, those special elections were no
No, they're.
What was it in Florida? 15-point swing from those two special elections in Florida, 15 points. That's a huge swing of votes.
Yep. Hello, Ian. How's Scotland? You survived his visit.
I think there's going to be governmental changes coming up on elections and make them more secure. Because I got the energy of the government and Six of Swords. In the past, I see cheating, losses, the devil. These are three bad cards together. I think a system's been manipulated, and the media, far too long. I think we're going to be moving away from the negative into better. moving into the Knight of Cups. So we got the Spy, the bad times moving better into the Knight of Cups energy. And outcome. I don't think we're going to be wanting a businessman anymore.
No.
In our leadership.
No.
Get rid of the businessman.
Aha.
So King of Coins is the businessman in leadership. I think we're going to get sick of the businessman. Rethinking what's went on the last 10 years and the stress and burdens it has actually caused. So elections, yeah, they're going to be elections. But I think the people are going to rethink what's good for our country.
Mm-hmm. So are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, the end of it. No. I get that it's not supported. That's Queen of Wands upside down. And people are not going to patiently put up with any BS they say about this. And there's the Ten of Swords. This whole idea dies. But then for what happens in the future, we have an abundant legacy coming towards us. And I modified it and looked at it, and it's the Nine of Swords it's going that's the stress and anxiety we've had about election. A lot of the pressure people feel about is it true or not, it's going to be relieved. We're going to realize that our elections really are safe, and we're going to say, oh my God, then I don't have to be defensive about going into the election booth. And then the final out card is the Knight of Cups. We're going to be told the truth, and modifying that is people are going to feel more independent about what they want to do, but they're going to be really looking at things as independence, not as being brainwashed. And the country, it's going to help bring the country back together. I don't believe that we're going to break into different countries. And I know there's a lot of readers in Europe that are going, they almost have a tee-hee-hee, you guys thought you were great for so long. Well, we see you splitting into pieces. No, I don't see that.
No.
Thank you, Patricia, for sending me some money through my GoFundMe, which I did rewrite in here. You can find it again. It's in the later statements.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
This will be the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get the energy of earthquakes. This deck wants it.
Not that. I'll use my big cat tarot.
Timing. I guess there was a little one in New Jersey again yesterday.
3.6 in Patterson, New Jersey. Yeah, I watched Stephen Broom, and he always his shows always show up on YouTube right before I go to bed. And that's about the equivalent of watching the national news. Quite when he starts going on what's happening with all the plates. And since I live where that's not going to happen, unless, trust me, if Texas has an earthquake that big, all of y'all are gone. And we've had them, but we've had them from their low level in there because of fracking, and they stopped them for the most part, except in Oklahoma. There's a whole little town in Oklahoma that got closed down because they had so much fracking. Major earthquakes on the West Coast. Okay, message for Danny.
Major earthquake in the West Coast.
We don't have a time frame on this, do we?
Well, whatever you sense, I guess.
Well, I got right now, they're feeling kind of safe because that's what you have to be. You have to be the Five of Pentacles in with earthquakes if you live in California, because otherwise you'd go nuts. But I got my current cards are the Six of Pentacles. It's coming, and I got the Tower right in the middle. I think it's coming sooner than we think. And this is a really cool Eight of Wands card, considering what the argument's about. You see the mother cat carrying the baby kitten away from the destruction and away from the problem. And I think it's up to the heavens when it comes, the universe. I think there's going to be a major one soon. And I think that's going to put if Trump isn't out of office, it's going to put a whole lot of pressure on him. Because there are too many rich people that have stuff that are even in his circle that have stuff that's in California. It's not like when we kill 100 people in a flood. And well, it's just in Texas. You start killing tons and tons in California.
So we're talking about a major one.
A major one.
Eventually, there is going to be a major one. So I get the King of Swords, I think, is represented by Earth, the disruption, and then 10 of Cups, ruining the sanctity of home, and then I get a Death card. And it feels like it's reborn. The landscape is reborn. So that's the current energy. These plates and shifts are strong with the Emperor and has energy with the Ace of Wands. My outcome, Eight of Swords. So Eight of Swords, the Moon, the Sun, and the Queen of Cups. We aren't going to know exactly when it's going to happen. With the Moon, Eight of Swords. So you're restricted, you're blocked in. The Sun is revealing. Queen of Cups. Near the water. I think it's next summer.
Do you? Okay.
I think there's a big one, June, July of next summer.
Okay.
It's not giving me the energy of instantaneously. Yeah, I think there's a big one coming next summer.
Next summer or this fall? I think you might be right. I think it might be July of next year, Seven of Swords. But my Tower card was like today, but I don't feel it today. I worry more about Yellowstone because.
Well, let's look at Yellowstone too.
Okay.
There's been rumors that's gonna explode bigly.
If it does, my second youngest brother's gone. He lives on the last piece. He lives near Dick Cheney. He lives on the last piece of privately owned land before Yellowstone. He lives in this big log house. It's a huge log house. It's not a log house like Lincoln grew up in, let me tell you.
How stable is the super volcano in Yellowstone?
Yellowstone caldera. What's going on there?
Pegasus is about 6 hours west of Yellowstone. Okay, guide spirit, tell me about the super volcano in Yellowstone. Huh. Get the Queen of Cups again. Using my USA card.
Well, it will affect the whole of the USA, guys. If you've never seen a documentary on what happens.
That one blows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Hangman. So I think it's pretty obvious. It always has activity.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what that means. Moving forward, I have the King of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Star. Swords are negativity, conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
The Star is adjusting. I think there's protection there with the Star. So any kind of shifts and movements and geysers or whatever, the Star is holding things back. The Wheel of Fortune outcome, Ace of Wands, Two of Swords, and Four of Wands. There's nothing negative here saying it's going to blow in the near future. The Wheel of Fortune is telling me eventually it will. It'll have a big eruption. So my guides told me in my mind when I was shuffling, the big one ain't going to happen for another 100 years.
Really?
That's what my guide said as I was shuffling. You're looking at 100 years before a big blow there. I think there's enough protection of the universe, the energy, the way things shift there. It seems like there's protection within the earth. I don't think there's any worry about the super volcano there. Not in the near future. Not in our lifetime, I'm feeling.
I got a feeling if we make it past October with a lot of the earth shifts, that we'll be okay. Then we'll be able to take care of ourselves. But there's some iffy crap going on here. And it's not.
Yeah, I was listening for big one.
Okay. What I see is a lot of stuff is locked together. It's kind of imprisoned. It can't get out currently. But what I see is, I don't see the big one, but I see that there's going to be a lot more rumbling and a lot more people getting nervous over what's happening there.
Yeah, you're right, Ellen. There's always shifting and stuff going on. We were just trying to sense a big one that can do some severe damage to a lot of folks.
Well,
yeah, we seen that, Susie. I don't believe it. As far as Yellowstone, the West Coast, summer we feel it, but Yellowstone, I don't.
I was in California when Mount St. Helens blew. I was visiting a friend in San Francisco. That was kind of crazy. But I think a lot of what's happening on the western edge of the Ring of Fire, the stuff by Russia and Japan, and there was another big one in the South Pacific. I think that those are taking some of the pressure off, just like Iceland did for a while. But, when it comes to earthquakes, and they're looking at the one that's in the southern part of New Zealand, and it goes off every 300 years like clockwork. And it's into its fourth year beyond the 300. So they're thinking that will be. But you can say there's going to be earthquakes, and I can guarantee you'll find an earthquake somewhere in the earth that week. So what are we going to do now, Scott? Pull a card for the week?
Yeah. What we need to know. Cards we need. Yeah. The hotter the temperature of the ocean, the worse the hurricane is. I think, what was there, 2 big ones last year? I think I predicted 3. 3 big ones this year. One in Florida hits Florida hard. One hits Texas hard, and the other one hits New Orleans hard.
Mm-hmm.
Feels to me the East Coast is saved this year, like it hit in North Carolina last time. Okay. inspiration need for the week. Oh, got some nice cards.
Good.
2 of cups, 10 of coins, and 8 of coins. So the Lady Coins is about hard work, craftsmanship, long-term projects. 10 of Coins is that abundance, planning, family traditions, and 2 of Cups is falling in love, making commitments, don't giving up. So it takes continual effort to make those connections, to make everything be secure and financial and in a good setting. So it's continual work on ourselves. That's what I'm feeling here. It always takes continual work to notice when we're going down this negative path or feeling edgy, to snap out of it and bring back the love light energy that we need. So that's what I think that means today.
Okay. You done?
Yep.
Okay. I got the Midnight Moth, and this is from the Witching Hour Oracle. And the meaning of this one is distraction, following the wrong path and needing to make changes. And that's what I saw in my reading for the next week. If we don't let them distract us, we have the strength to move forward. Distraction can lead you into devastating consequences. And you don't need to have that affecting you negatively. Midnight Moth brings an urgent message to change from the destructive redirection. This is your last stop before it's too late to turn back. This is the time when we need to keep our minds clear and not be won over by their constant BS. You've been distracted, too focused on other people instead of taking the journey designed specifically for your soul. Your unique gifts have been hiding behind your attempts to be something you're not. Maybe dressing in a style that you don't like, or putting up with how people are redecorating things like a ballroom on the White House. It could mean things with your friends or outside influences. Midnight Moth wants you to know that it's not yet too late to turn things around. It could be very soon, but it may seem so, but others can intuitively pick up when someone is not being authentic. You may be in danger of losing out on something remarkable because you aren't allowing yourself to be yourself. Remember, the universe brings you the opportunities that are meant for who you are and not who others believe you to be. And that goes along with my thing about the thing I read at the beginning, which is we're at a change where authenticity is going to be all important. And your nervous system will feel like it's taking a loss. Your mind may call it confusion. You're going to feel very confused, but your soul will understand this time of change is awakening and freedom. So we need to be aware we're awakening, we're having some freedom, and to not get distracted by all the other chatter. Thank you to everyone who's here. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Go have a good Sunday. I'm going to go to a party.
A party?
Yeah, the wine place that I read Tarot at for so long, it's their 20th anniversary, so they're having a party.
Oh, coolio.
So
I'm going to try to get a hold of my kids, go see some grandbabies maybe.
I hope the little one that was sick gets better.
Yeah. I was supposed to watch the other one, Lainey, yesterday because of a wedding shower party, but she came down with a fever, so my daughter didn't go. So I'll see if they're home. My Nancy's sick, so she can't go anywhere.
Oh, really?
Maybe go see my grandbabies today.
Well, good. You were out in your boat yesterday, so you've been out in the elements.
Cheer, cheer. Hey, Virgil. How you doing, Chief? Love to you.
Love to y'all.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.